Welcome to Real Estate Radio San Antonio with your host, Karla Stan, where we'll bring you an important hour of real estate every Sunday right here on 9:30 a.m. The Answer. We're part of the Real Estate Radio Network, which is a national network of local real estate professionals dedicated to delivering timely, balanced truths about the local market conditions in an effort to help Americans maintain, number one, good credit, number two, minimize their debt, and three, to achieve the dream of home ownership. Karla, good to see you this afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon, Stan. How are you?
Good. It's always a pleasure to be able to work alongside my beautiful bride, my best friend, and my wife. And so it's just a wonderful Sunday afternoon. So thank you.
Thank you.
This is a segment of our show we call Mortgage Matters, and we just like to spend a little bit of time here. So we just want to thank you all for being here this afternoon and joining us on Real Estate Radio San Antonio. We'd like to begin our show with this, and just to, whether it's be how you manage your credit, get you out of debt, the latest loan programs that are available, and what really matters in mortgage and real estate is what we want to bring you. And we'll keep you updated and informed at all times.
Thanks, Stan. Stan Hester and myself, Karla Hester, are both licensed residential loan originators, and my loan originating number is 219-059, and Stan is 956-893. Stan, did you see the 2015 housing forecast that NARS published the other day?
I did briefly get a glance at that, yeah.
I mean, that's very interesting, and we just want to touch base on what NAR was saying about the top 5 housing predictions. NAR stands for National Association of Realtors. Now, not your local, we're talking about nationally. So the first home appreciation will increase mid-year to about 4 to 5%, and that's incredible. I know here in San Antonio, our appreciation is great and higher in some areas than other areas, but nationally, we're at 4 and 5% prediction for mid of next year. So it's a good time to maybe look at some investment properties.
Yeah, I think it's a great time, and you know, as we go through this is the National Association of Realtors. In 3 weeks, we're going to have a gentleman on that's going to talk about SABRE, which is our local San Antonio Board of Realtors. We're going to have him on with some local forecast information.
So it'll be interesting. We can kind of
compare. The first weekend of the month, yeah.
Compare the numbers.
The year, actually. But yeah, those numbers are really interesting. I know a lot of times you look at the statistics and things and can kind of get a little mind-boggling and actually quite a little boring, but it's important to see what our city's doing as we're having thousands of people every month move into San Antonio and to the South Texas area.
And how it compares to our national numbers.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
We're not a small city. So the other prediction is mortgage rates are going to go up mid-year to about 5%.
Yeah, that's what everybody's forecasting is 5%. Last year they said it was going to go up. It didn't really rise last year as a prediction. And of course, like we say, these are all predictions that we take out of some of the forecasts of national. But if it does go up, I mean, what's that do for right now? It makes it a beautiful time to purchase it at
That's exactly
the low
right.
rates that we're at.
Mm-hmm. I mean, if we were looking at rates today, we're talking about conventional 30-year fixed rates, right around low 4s. And so mid next year, they're expecting 5%. Existing home sales will see an 8% growth with minimum levels of distressed property. Well, that's good news.
That is real good news as we came out of that debacle back in 07 and 05 in that area where things, we had a lot of, and San Antonio got away from a lot of that. They weren't, stressed out as California was, and Sacramento,
Not
some
to
of
the degree.
Some of the Atlanta's areas and other places,
Arizona,
Chicago, Arizona,
Florida.
Really got hit hard with that. Luckily, we kept our homes in check and weren't paying those crazy prices that they were paying back then, and so we've increased pretty well on that. But 8% growth that's huge. 8%.
Yeah, and they're predicting new home sales. So Gasaba, our new home builders, 25% increase in single-family construction. So, and then home affordability will decline about 5 to 10% based on that appreciation and increased rates. So when you think about appreciation, that house that you're looking at today, and we wait till next year, the house is going to be more expensive, and the rates are going to be higher. So, keep that in mind. So the economic indicators reflect a 3% growth in earnings and household income, and unemployment rates will see a slight decline, remaining under 6%. So that's good news.
Yeah, with all that said, I think this is the most important time that someone actually, if you're thinking about getting property, you're thinking about buying your first home, moving up, moving down, whatever it is in that market, it's so important for someone to get professional advice. I mean, we can help with credit scores and helping you finance that loan and stuff, but you really need to get with a possibly, last weekend we had Ed Guerrero on, which is a tax strategist, and he can help you with those types of counseling. But to get with a realtor, get with somebody that's very proficient, that's been in the business long enough to know what's going on, and to get that professional advice from that person. Today I don't want to jump his thunder, but we have an expert on that has a lot of information on that. Also with real estate, can help guide you. He's for legal matters. I mean, all of these things get together. This is a big decision, and it's an important time to buy. I mean, rates are low, and that just makes it really, really nice. So if you've just joined us, you're listening to Real Estate Radio San Antonio with Karla Stan on KLUP. The answer, 9:30, the answer. So as we get this through here, I'm kind of fumbling my words, so I'm hoping that Karla just jumps in here and bails me out real quick.
Well, let's go on to who's going to help the economy recover. So according to the National Association of Realtors, the economy recovery is going to be the millennials. And so what age group is the millennials are expected to drive the whole household formation?
That's just
I think it's 20, isn't in the mid-20s, 27, 30?
27, 30, 35 in there. And I guess you need to go read this article at NAR and Google that to see what's going on. But
that's the next generation.
Yeah, it's the next generation that's coming up, and it's they're buying their homes, doing their investments, and moving on. That's going to be a large influx of people and what they're looking for. I mean, this will be something we probably talk about. It'd be a whole different show. I don't want to get to, but what are they exactly buying? Are they buying larger homes? Are they buying smaller homes? I mean, we look at things like we talked a little bit about last week about the Pearl Brewery, what's going on down there with the apartments, with the condos that are being built, with the smaller style homes that that people are at Southtown are wanting to move into. So, that's a whole demographics of something that's actually going to have to be learned and developed, because that's a different mentality of what they want out of life and what they be close to those restaurants.
Most of them are very
and such.
educated.
Yeah,
very educated, and so about 2/3 of the household formations will be the millennials over the next 5 years, and forecasted an addition of 2.5 million jobs next year will increase the whole household formation. So that's interesting. So it's the first-time home buyers.
In San Antonio, I know these
professionals.
these are national averages, of course, but San Antonio is one of the leading areas of where we are. We're usually in the top 10 of growth cities in America. And I know it fluctuates. A couple of years ago, we had roughly 70,000 people move to town. I believe last year we had around 30,000 people move to town. But when you think about that, when you average that out, that's almost 1,000 people a week coming to town.
That's
and what a
huge.
great place for an opportunity, what a great place for real estate. And of course, we're not building real estate that fast. I mean, we're not building that many homes. We're maybe building that many apartments, but not that many
Not
homes.
apartments.
And so
Yeah.
it becomes very much of a buyer's market. And these are things that you need to get with a realtor to look at. I know that I was talking to one the other day, and they were talking about as these people are moving in, that it's hard to build a home for under $200,000, a new construction. And so the homes that are at that price are becoming very much of a premium item at this point. And those, a lot of your first-time buyers and your people that are moving out of the apartments into the home, they're looking for that lower price point to get started with. So a lot of times what they do is they'll look for that existing home for under $200,000, and the inventory on those are really being grabbed quickly by investors and first-time buyers.
Okay, well, that's so true, Stan. It's also predicting, National Association of Realtors are predicting existing homes we're talking about that is going to go up about 8% year over year in 2015, and distress is going to be a smaller portion of that. Home prices are, again, expected to increase, and rates are going to increase in 2015. Home affordability will decline. However, the decline could offset the increase of the salaries next year. So it may not be that big a decline because I think the salaries are coming
Yeah, this is the part that's kind of always interesting. How much of a forecast is? They're always forecasting this, and it could be right or wrong. I
That's right.
Forecasters are kind of like, no offense in the industry, but for radio people, it's like, or for weather people, it's, if you're wrong, it's, I missed it. But, here's what I'm predicting. And so that's just what they're predicting. And if it goes up 8% for the next 2 years, I mean, you think about that's a 16% increase. If you buy a $200,000 house, that's $32,000 that house goes up.
That's right.
Now, we're not saying that's what's going to happen, but, predictions are 8%. That's basically putting numbers to the math on that and having quite an increase. So,
The other thing I want to mention is I'm excited is, Fannie Mae has lowered some of their guidelines, and they went from a minimum of 5% down to 3% down. So now you can get a 3%, 97% loan-to-value ratio, and it's a great program, much better than FHA, so 3%.
yeah.
And so we're going to take a break. Stay tuned. We have an attorney that we're going to introduce and is going to give us some great insights. We'll be right back.